Hello and welcome to the Families Programming presentation for the Hemophilia Federation of America. My name is Sonji Wilkes. I am the program consultant for the Families Programming for HFA. Just wanted to say up front that it's truly an honor and pleasure to be able to work on this program for HFA. I think it's really one of HFA's cornerstone programs and really a great way for us to do some outreach in the bleeding disorders community. A little bit about myself in case you don't know me. Again, my name is Sonji Wilkes. I have a 10-year-old with severe hemophilia A and inhibitors. Been very involved in the hemophilia community since his birth and really enjoy getting out there and meeting new people and doing advocacy and education in our bleeding community. It's, again, an honor and a pleasure. And as always, I have a little technical issue with my computer during a webinar. There we go. So to give you a little bit of information about our Families Programming, it really involves two components. It involves our Dads in Action program and our Moms Connect program. Both programs are national programs for either fathers or mothers or those female or father parent figures, and both provide training, education, support, outreach, resources that are really designed to build stronger family units. We do this in two ways. We do it through national direct consumer outreach and education via HFA's website, our toolkits, the Moms blog, national webinars, symposium, hopefully some advocacy work in Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and through our Voices and Videos series. We also do it in local direct-to-consumer ways. That's via you guys through our member organizations. And we at HFA tried to develop some modules and educational topics and talks that you guys can use on the ground at the local level. Why do we do family programming? Well, we do it because the families are critical in accepting and learning how to live with a bleeding disorder. And if you look at this picture, you see everything. You see every part of a family here. You see moms, you see dads, you see siblings. That very first slide with the man and the young boy is actually the cornerstone of families. It is a grandfather with hemophilia and now his grandson with hemophilia. So obviously the mom is the bridge in between. So we do family programming really to help educate parents and guardians about issues that are important to the bleeding disorders community. We want those folks to turn around, become empowered, and make better choices for their families. And in my opinion, the reason we do family programming is to build community support, to build networks of support amongst each other, and so that we feel a sense of belonging and lessen that sense of isolation in raising a family with hemophilia or another bleeding disorder. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't do it without you. I couldn't do it without my friends and who I see now as my family in the bleeding disorder community. Together we are stronger. So we really believe in family programming at HFA. So our Dads in Action program is kind of the beginning of our family programming. It was developed early in the 2000s and has grown exponentially over the years. We know that having involved male role models impacts children's life. We know that it means higher self-esteem for kids. It means less teen depression. We can lower alcohol and drug abuse with having involved dads, and we can raise children's grades in school. Dads in Action partners with the National Fatherhood Initiative to use some of their curriculum and resources. They're just one of several groups that we use and work with in families programming. And they see similar data, similar trends, that involved fathers mean healthier families. That the importance of involved fathers seems very clear to HFA. And taking a look at bleeding disorders specifically, our surveys amongst our dads in action have shown that 98% rate learning more about bleeding disorders and healthcare as important or very important to them. Their highest rated topics of interest include personal advocacy, with public policy advocacy right behind it. The next top rated topics were advanced bleeding disorders care and financial health in tough economic times. So those are things that we are looking to build a little bit more information about for our dads. 88% rate building relationships with other dads in the community as important or very important. But on another question, 28% say that they have no connection with other dads, and 39% say that they have some connection with other dads. Only 33% answer that they definitely have connections with other dads in the bleeding community. So that's a big gap that we hope to continue to build. We'd like to see that 33% number get larger, because we think and believe that those connections, that network of support, is so critical in your bleeding disorders education. And a great example of how dads can involve through the Dads in Action program is Lance. Lance connected with the program about 4 years ago when his son Nicholas was very young. Lance and his wife both became involved with HFA, and Lance in particular was looking for something specific for his needs and interests as a fairly new dad. With 2 other fathers, Lance committed to help bring our Dads in Action program to the next level. In the 4 years since, Lance has participated in a number of dads events and was one of our first trained facilitators. He goes out to run events for local groups, and like a true dad in action, Nicholas is often with him. They do a great presentation together about sports and bleeding disorders, with Lance offering perspective as both the father and as Nicholas's baseball coach. It's safe to say that having a dad involved in that level, with him being the coach and attending every practice and every game, that has contributed to Nicholas's success as an all-star baseball player. Where some dads wonder if their son who has hemophilia will ever play sports, Lance makes sure that Nick can pursue his passion in a safe way with great success. So we thank Lance and many other dads who have helped to shape, coordinate, and deliver the program. Thank you for being a dad in action. So Moms Connect is our mother's component to our family programming. It's new for 2014. In 2013, we started to kind of dip our toes in the water to see how we could build a mom's component. And kind of our first step in that was the Moms blog, Infusing Love. It is not medical advice. It is a collection of stories of several moms who have really opened themselves up and shared what raising a child with a bleeding disorder means to them. They've talked about everything from first learning of that diagnosis right after the birth of their child to what it means now in sending their child out into the world independently at 20, 21 years old. These moms inspire me every week. The blog comes out each Wednesday. It is first posted on HFA's Facebook page, so if you haven't liked the HFA Facebook page, be sure to do that. And we saw great success with the blog in 2013. Over 230,000 people saw the blog, which is pretty remarkable for its first year. So the blog will continue throughout 2014, and we'll be adding new bloggers, new writers to the series throughout the year. Moms Connect is hoping to do some local meetings like our Dads in Action program does. So if you're interested in getting a mom's group started in your member org, please let me know. Please reach out. Let's see how we can make that happen. Moms Connect worked really hard last year with Dads in Action to build more website resources on the HFA website. Some of these included toolkits. One of them is highlighted here with this very cute young man. Our Back to School toolkit. We also did a toolkit about bullying and one about being prepared. All of the toolkits include presentations. So they might be past webinars that we have done, or past recorded webinars, I should say, usually along with the slides, with the PowerPoint slides. Some of them have been customizable PowerPoints. For instance, the Back to School Toolkit includes a customizable PowerPoint that parents can take and present to their school when they're faced with having a child in their classroom. All the toolkits also include downloads, so it could be a document that you can download and use for your baseball coach, for your soccer coach, to educate them a little bit more about a bleeding disorder. It can include a checklist of items that you need around the house to be prepared in case of a natural disaster. And they also all include resources and links to other resources, if you will, outside the bleeding community. There's some really good information out there, and we see the toolkits as an opportunity to point you in the right direction. So we do those. We'll have 4 or 5 of those coming up this year. Sometimes they aren't full toolkits. They're just a resource. So be sure to check out the HFA resource library on hemophiliafed.org on a regular basis, as we're adding new stuff all the time. And then we partner with Dads in Action to do our national webinars. We will deliver that this year in 2014 through those toolkits. For instance, we just put one up earlier this week about patient assistance programs that are available to the bleeding disorders community. So look for those toolkits and those resources. We'll do it through the blog. We will do it through webinars. In 2013, we had several webinars that included one titled, I Never Signed Up for That, Finding Joy in Everyday Life. In May and June of 2013, we honored moms and dads raising children with bleeding disorders. In August, we had one about back-to-school success and how to kind of navigate that system. In October, we had one about building stronger families and building those couple relationships. And then in December of 2013, we honored World AIDS Day with kind of a history lesson about HIV/AIDS in the hemophilia community. So we will do quarterly webinars this year in 2014. We will add 4 website resources and toolkits. We will continue to publish the blog. We will produce voices videos and voices written stories that will go up on our website that you can share at your local meetings. And we will do original articles, 4 original articles in Dateline for both moms and dads in Dateline. We're hoping to do a Capitol Hill visit with some parents later this year. That's not a definite thing quite yet, but with your help, maybe we can make that happen. And we will do some face-to-face meetings at Symposium. We have several sessions planned for parents at Symposium with some really fantastic speakers. So I hope to see you guys there at those. Then we will also distribute welcome kits to moms, to dads, and to newly diagnosed parents in 2014. If you haven't gotten one of our welcome kits in the past, find me at Symposium. Let's get you signed up and make sure you get one mailed out to you. They are a fun way to let people know that they are not alone, and a great way to get some information out to people. So we will deliver that in large part thanks to you guys, thanks to our member orgs. This map represents in 2013 where we held Dads in Action events. So the red stars are our member orgs who contracted with HFA to offer several dads events throughout 2013. Those sites included the Arizona Hemophilia Association, the Connecticut Hemophilia Society, the Hemophilia Foundation of Maryland, Hemophilia of Indiana, the Hemophilia Outreach of El Paso, Texas, Mid-South Hemophilia and Bleeding Disorders Foundation in Tennessee, the New England Hemophilia Association, the New York City Hemophilia Chapter, the Northern Ohio Hemophilia Foundation, and the Virginia Hemophilia Foundation. The yellow stars, I might have had that backwards, you guys. That would be the yellow stars that were those folks. The red stars represented member orgs who hosted a single DADS event, and maybe this was at their annual meeting or their family weekend. And those included Hemophilia of Iowa, the Puerto Rico Hemophilia Association, the Hemophilia Foundation of Southern California, the Bleeding Disorders Association of the Southern Tier in New York State, the Bleeding Disorders Association of Northeastern New York, the Hemophilia Foundation of Northern California, and the Central California Hemophilia Foundation. So thank you to you guys who have worked with us in the past, and we look forward to working with you in the future on bringing DADS sites, DADS in Action events to your local sites. We're hoping to add at least 2 new DADS groups this year, which in conjunction with adding at least 4 new moms sites will equal 50 educational sessions at the local level this year. So again, if you're interested and want to learn more about how we can make that happen for either moms, dads, or both at your local chapter, please give me a call, send me an email, and let's talk. HFA helps you get those sites. We don't just kind of say, hey, go out and do this. We really try to provide you the resources and the support to make your job a little easier in getting that done. So we have educational modules that we can provide for you that include a talk, a PowerPoint. Some of them include speakers. We can send out our trained facilitators to help you facilitate those sessions. And we'll be adding at least 5 new topics to that menu, if you will, later this year. Local executive directors and member orgs will be getting a list of those topics very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. A few of our sessions are available in Spanish, so please let me know if you need a session in Spanish, and we'll see what we can do to make that happen. Our DADS in Action book is coming out later this year. I actually just saw one of the final copies of it, final renditions, revisions, and it's stellar, you guys. It's just absolutely amazing. So thank you to any of the dads that might be listening in who contributed to this book. But this book is a collection of stories from dads in the bleeding disorders community, talking about what it meant to them to be a dad of a daughter or of a son with a bleeding disorder. It is truly stellar, spectacular. I don't have enough adjectives to describe how fantastic it is. Really looking forward to that coming out. So thank you if you contributed, and stay tuned to see that release. But at the end of the day, what families programming is really all about, what did we want our participants to be able to do as a result of participating, is we want them to be able to describe how this program has changed them and how it has helped them. And what we're hoping that they will say is that they have an increased involvement as advocates for their children and their families in several different areas. We hope that that means through that they'll be more involved in their education, through their medical care, through policy and personal advocacy, and through interpersonal relationships. We believe very strongly that families programming should be participant-centered. And so we ask moms and dads quite often how we're doing. We do that through surveys and focus groups, and we really rely on feedback from you guys, our board of directors, to tell us if we're hitting the mark or not. So that is a little bit about our families programming. I encourage you to please find me at Symposium if you have further questions about our families programming. As I said at the beginning of the webinar, it is truly an honor and pleasure to work on this program and see the growth that it is having. Family is everything, and I very much believe that I have a family in my home, but I have a family out there in the broader hemophilia and bleeding disorders community. So let's do this together. And with your help, we are doing great things. We really are impacting families' lives positively through our programs here at the Hemophilia Federation of America. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Actually, we also just developed an Instagram and a Pinterest account. So if you're a big social media person, you can find HFA out there. And please contact me at s.wilkes@hemophiliafed.org if you have any more questions or comments about what we're doing with family programming at HFA. I very much look forward to seeing you guys at Symposium, and hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.